agencies involved in this exercise. I'm now joined by international business lawyer Liliana Bakayoko. She has represented the Legend Airlines. The plane in question, which was detained in France, she's joining us on the phone right now. Liliana, let me begin by asking you, what were the reasons cited by authorities when this plane was detained a few days back?
Well, we don't know exactly why the authorities seized temporarily the plane and crowded it at the airport for a couple of days, for 4 days actually, even 5. We have no official information. An investigation is ongoing. There have been suspicions, according to the press, there have been suspicions concerning human trafficking and illegal migration. So this is all we know, but we don't have any official information because Legend Airlines was never accused of anything. It was never part of the criminal investigation as a party put it in custody. The crew was released, has never been in custody. So we have no access to the file, to the criminal related to the criminal investigation. If the crew if the crew was viewed as guilty, it would have been put in custody, and we would have had access to the file and have more information. We wouldn't have disclosed it yet. At least we wouldn't have used the possibility to publicize everything, but we would at least know for us what's going on. We don't know absolutely anything more than you on this case because neither the crew nor the company has ever been accused of anything.
Right. Liliana, do we know why the 25 people who stayed back in France, why did they not board the flight back?
I represent the company. I don't represent the passengers. And the official information was that these 25 passengers have requested asylum in France. So they want to be protected. They consider probably that they are threatened in India, or I don't know. We can only speculate why. Usually, a person requests such kind of protection status because it feels threatened either because of his political views or his religious beliefs or his sexual orientations. So we don't know. Each case will be considered as an independent case. It won't be a kind of group, decision. It's a case-by-case procedure. So we don't know why exactly each one of these people requested protection and asylum in France.
Right. Could you give us a sense of who hired this charter flight to Nicaragua? Who was the person or body? Was it one particular entity which booked all the tickets? Yes,
the plane was hired under a charter agreement by a client of Legend Airlines, which we won't name at this stage. This client was responsible of selling the tickets to the passengers and checking their documents, their travel documents, their ID cards or passports, in this occasion, the passports, their visas and their tickets. That was supposed to be sold actually by this client, exactly by itself. So Legend Airlines was just performing the flight, and the starting point and the arrival point had been chosen by the client. So the client won't be named at this stage because it is presumed innocent, and because of ethics, professional ethics, confidentiality clauses, and other considerations that are related to client-friendly practices applied by the company. But we can say that it is a non-European,
I can understand that.
A non-European company.
Okay, you're saying it's a non-European company, but did this company have Indian origins? Was it based in India? Do we know at least the ownership of this company? Was it a travel agency?
We will not provide any kind of information at this stage concerning these points.
Right, but this was only one company which had booked all the tickets for all the passengers. That's right?
Yes. One company has hired the plane chosen the destination and booked all the tickets and sold all the tickets to the passengers. Yes.
Right. Liliana, one information which would have definitely been shared with the operators of Legend Airlines is why does the plane have to fly to Mumbai instead of Nicaragua after it was given the approval to fly? Could you give us a sense of what reasons were given to the pilots to divert the plane to Mumbai?
Because for a plane to go somewhere, the local authorities, as the arrival point at the destination, should accept it to land on their soil. And according to the information we got, neither the United Arab Emirates nor Nicaragua accepted the passengers. So the only possibility to go somewhere else was to go in India to fly to India, because the passengers were of Indian nationality. And because the Indian embassy intervened very quickly and did a lot of hard work, actually, to speed up everything, to obtain all the necessary permits of all the involved countries that were supposed to be involved in the process, because when a plane starts somewhere and lands somewhere, well, it has to pass above some countries that are supposed to authorize this. And the Indian embassy worked hard with the French authorities to obtain the permits and to speed up everything. So we had to fly to India, but this was not supposed to happen, actually, yes. The passengers were actually requesting to go to Nicaragua. They didn't want to go to India.
So you're saying the passengers wanted to go to Nicaragua. You have said in previous interviews that they all had valid visas, but in terms of their return tickets, when were the return tickets actually booked for? Well,
we don't have information about their final destination or their returns, because the plane was hired to perform the flight between the United Arab Emirates and Nicaragua. And what the airline company had to do is to check the tickets that were presented to it to perform this flight. After that, when the trial begins in France, my colleagues who represented the passengers just disclosed information to the media that these passengers, at least those of them who were their clients, because there were 303 passengers, and the lawyers who were speaking before the media represented some of them. The clients they represented had valid return tickets and even hotel reservations in Nicaragua, and were claiming, really insisting, that they want to go to Nicaragua for tourism and they don't want to go elsewhere.
Right. Are Legend Airlines still cooperating with the investigation, with the French authorities, providing them more details? Does the investigation continue even though the plane has landed in Mumbai?
Of course, the investigation continues, and Legend Airlines will cooperate with all the authorities involved in legitimate investigations related to this case. Legend Airlines has suffered a very important prejudice, a financial prejudice, because it had to pay for everything, for the flights, for the taxis, airport taxis, for the crew. It has suffered an enormous prejudice related to its reputation and image, and it's completely innocent of anything. And so it is entitled currently to sue the French state because of the fact that the airplane was grounded, but without any kind of official valid reason. So nothing has been disclosed as a justification for these measures. But Legend Airlines will not sue the French state at all, at least for now, because it understands that maybe there might be justified suspicions of some kind of illegitimate migration. Maybe it's not human trafficking at all, actually. Maybe it's just illegal migrants. And in any case, it want to contribute to establish the truth. But what is very important, so this is why it wants to sue the state, and this is why it will cooperate as far as necessary and as much as necessary to establish the truth. And what is more important also, not more important, but really important also, is that the company will take extremely strict preventive measures to to ensure that such situations won't appear in the future. So it will establish a compliance program, a specific strict compliance
Liliana,
program, and I will, yeah.
Yeah, Liliana, you're saying that you will increase, the airline will increase compliance here onwards. Could you give us a sense of the amount that had been paid by the company or the entity which had booked the tickets for all these passengers from UAE to Nicaragua?
Well, we are currently assessing the costs, but part of the financial team of the company is on vacation, so we will just have to wait another days to be able to communicate a global amount. But the economic, the financial,
the diversion of the flight, any financial ramifications as a result of the diversion of the flight to Mumbai, the detention in France, who will be bearing the cost? Will it be the entity who purchased these tickets? Will it be the Indian government? Who will it be?
Well, currently, the company will sue the client because the client obviously breached its obligations under the charter agreement. Obviously, there have been some problems, so the client is supposed to bear the costs of all this. So the company will sue the client, but on a civil basis, not on criminal ones. And the company will just become party to the civil party to the criminal investigation to seek responsibility from those who might be disclosed as responsible. So the client will be sued, but if the investigation shows that the plane was granted without any kind of justification and by mistake, the French state also will be sued, and certainly not only by the company, but by the passengers too.
Right. Thanks, Liliana, for joining us for that comprehensive interview. Of course, it's not possible for you to give us all answers, but you are telling us that the plane had to be diverted to Mumbai because neither UAE nor Nicaragua were accepting the passengers, and the airline, Legend Airlines, will be suing the client who booked this flight, this charter flight, for all the 303 Indian passengers.